everyone. I just wanted to do a quick recording of what's been going on with us lately. All of our family should know this by now, and if you don't, I severely apologize. It's been a little bit crazy. But the long story short is that Kevin has a brain tumor, and he will be having surgery on November 9th. And we've found out about this right before Memorial Day in May. So it's been 5 months that we've been kind of living with this diagnosis and trying to figure out next steps, doing lots of tests, seeing lots of doctors. But just to kind of give everybody history of what's been going on. If you've seen Kevin in the last year or heard him in our videos or anything like that, you'll notice that his voice is very hoarse. And so we first noticed that in January of 2019. And so that was very soon after I found out that I was pregnant. He lost, his voice. His voice got really, really hoarse. And we thought that maybe it was just, laryngitis. It was the winter, so a couple weeks went by and he's like, yeah, it's not going away. He didn't feel sick. He didn't have any other symptoms of being ill. So we waited a little while and he went to the doctor and they put a scope down his throat to see what was going on. And he had a paralyzed vocal cord. Okay, so now this is a little bit more serious than you've just got a hoarse throat. So the paralyzed vocal cord could be one of two things. It could be a virus that causes damage to the nerve. So it's definitely nerve damage of some kind. A virus that causes damage to the nerve, just like you would have like a Bell's palsy, just temporary paralysis of your face. Or there could be something pressing on the nerve, like a tumor. So, all right, this is what, 5-month pregnant Vicky just needs to hear. And so Kevin goes for a MRI of his neck, chest, and shoulder, where they believe that this would potentially be. And it comes back, there's nothing. Okay, fine. It's just a paralyzed vocal cord because of some nerves. The doctor said, this could come back on its own. Sometimes it does. It takes a couple of months. Or we could do a surgery to kind of put an implant in so that your vocal cord will close. So basically the way your vocal cords is, they kind of go like this and they vibrate. Well, Kevin's is stuck open. So there's just a lot of extra air coming through. So he sounds very hoarse. And so what does that mean? He sounds hoarse. He has troubles swallowing. He will choke up, his food if it goes down the wrong pipe. If he talks a lot and has to exasperate himself, he gets lightheaded. He needs to stop talking. If he talks a lot, he gets a sore throat and he just needs to rest. But it really isn't that bad, the problems with it there's no tone. So there have been many times where I'm like, stop yelling at me. And he's like, I can't talk. And so there's no range in his voice. So that's been difficult to deal with even before we found out this was a tumor. I remember I was in labor. And so my birth story, I got induced and I was in labor for 19 hours and my epidural did not work. So I was having Kevin count to 10 very quietly and calmly for me and slowly. And he just in the middle of it goes, I can't do this anymore. I'm getting lightheaded. And I'm like, just shut up then. Just shut up. So had I known it was because of a tumor, I might have been a little bit nicer to him, but I was like, shut up, I'll punch your throat. I don't care. So anyways, so they told us to wait, they can't do surgery until it's been a year that his voice has been gone and, that, they will then do a surgery. So, okay. So we get to, March of this year, now we're in the middle of a pandemic, he wants to go get this voice taken care of. So he goes to his ENT, and they look at him and they're like, I think your damage might be a little bit higher up if you do have something blocking. So let's go and send you for a head MRI. So they send him for a head MRI. And, oh no, wait, hold on. I'm trying to think. The MRI like got rescheduled or something like that. Like we had to wait a little bit longer because of the pandemic. Things just got canceled. So he ended up getting his MRI in May. And he was going to the physical therapist because he's also having shoulder pain and just kind of weakness here. But, you know, that's chalked up to, you know, old high school wrestling injury or whatever. So he goes to the physical therapist the day after his head MRI. And he explained, you know, I've got a lot of weakness here. I've got, you know, this throat thing that's going on. I don't know if it's all related, but like I can't lift my arm up as high as I'd like to. And I wasn't with him. You know, this is the middle of May, so no other people are allowed at doctor's appointments. And the doctor, the physical therapist, is like, okay, I am going to just tell you this because you're putting it all together that, yes, this is related. And it, like his MRI results, because this was the next day, like just gotten in like 10 minutes before his appointment. And the physical therapist was the one that told him, you've got a 3-centimeter brain tumor at the base of your skull that's pushing on this nerve that is affecting your shoulder. And that was how he found out. And he, I wasn't with him. He called me a little bit later, but he obviously freaked out. And the doctor was really apologetic that like he had to be the one to, you know, tell him about this. He has to be like, are you okay? Do we need to call somebody for you? And Kevin just, you know, kept his composure, got himself back into the moment and stuff. And, you know, they got him some water and he left the room and, you know, Kevin broke down again and he fainted. He passed out. He blacked out. He came back in the room and, you know, told him the next steps of, you know, and this was, by the way, what was it? Memorial Day weekend. So it was a Friday. His ENT was gone for the weekend. So we had to deal from Friday to Tuesday with this news. And oh my God, it was the worst. So he called me from the car and I was here at home working and picked up the phone and I could just tell that something was wrong in his voice. And he said, you know, I've got a brain tumor. And I'm like, what? Okay. I just have to breathe right now. That's all I have to do. I have to breathe right now. And so Kevin's mom is our babysitter and she was here with Jack watching him and I couldn't tell her. Kevin was just hysterical on the phone. And I was like, where are you at? I will come and get you. I don't want you driving like this. And he's like, no, I'm okay. And, you know, he just had to kind of get it out and say it. And I was like, it's going to be fine. We're going to get through this. It's going to be fine. We got to find out some more information. But like, he's like, I need to get that disc from Beaumont. So can you call them and see how I can get it? And we're just trying to like coordinate a bunch of stuff. And so I was like, okay, I'll do that. But, and Kevin's mom by now knows something is wrong because she can hear me talking to him. And I'm like, okay. And I was starting to get a little freaked out and hysterical now too. And so I was like, I can't tell your mom this. I can't. He's like, put her on the phone. So I'm crying. I hand her the phone and I take Jack and I just hug him and start like screaming. And then he goes and he tells his mom. And, you know, it was awful. It was awful. So he starts coming back home, and I start making my phone calls, and I called my mom. So some of you might not know, but my mom has also had brain tumors. So this is something that my family has been through, and I kind of know the next steps and what to expect. But my mom was working, so she didn't pick up. So called my dad, and I was hysterical, and my dad's very good person to just calm me down, and I'm like, the only thing I could say was Kevin has a brain tumor, and that was all that I could say. And then it was just hysterical crying and screaming and freaking out, and he's like, take a breath, it's gonna be okay, take a breath, where are you at right now, where is Kevin, okay, you guys are both safe, okay, good, just take a breath, we've been through this before, we'll, and he was, oh God, my dad, love my dad, he's great. And he's been through this. Like, I was 3 months old when my mom got diagnosed with her first brain tumor, and they had 3 kids under 4. And can you imagine? Jesus. And then my mom had her second surgery in 2000, so I was like 11 or something like that. And he was just a really good person to talk to. And I'm going to be leaning on my parents a lot for support here. And I hear Jack waking up right now, so I got to wrap this up. Okay. So Kevin came home. I got a hold of my mom. My mom came over. And yeah, so that's kind of how we had found out. This is going on way longer than I wanted it to, but it's kind of therapeutic to talk about it. So in terms of the exact kind of tumor that he has a 3 centimeter schwannoma, could potentially be a paraganglioma, in his, and I've got this written down, his jugular foramen. And it's affecting the 9th, 10th, and 11th cranial nerves. And his carotid artery is also probably involved as well too. So it's near some important stuff. And we got a second opinion at University of Michigan Hospital, and that will be where we're having the surgery. We really like his doctor. It's actually the doctor that operated on Kelly Stafford. So they could go anywhere in the country that they wanted to, and they went here, and this is actually his doctor. So we're happy about that. And you know what? Hold on. I'm going to go get Jack. He's up and upset. So we'll see how much longer this lasts. Okay. You want to come make a video with us? Here. All right. So, we're having surgery at University of Michigan. Yeah. I'll show you guys what the looks like. I got it up here. So, this was his first MRI that he had. And this is his tumor right here. This is really bad because I'm not into there. You can kind of see a little bit more there. So yes, affecting obviously his vocal cords. It's affecting his shoulder. They're going to try to get it all out, but if it's going to cause further damage of some of his functions in his nerves, like one of the thing that scares Kevin the most is the tongue and the voluntary movement of the left side of his tongue. So that's something that he's scared about. But in terms of like how we're feeling, yeah, it's really scary. We're just at the beginning of this process here. It might not go well. We're aware of that, but we're taking it a day at a time. And earlier in this process, I was taking it an hour at a time. That's how I had to deal with it. But, you know, we're very, you know, trusting of our doctors, and we feel really strong about the team that we have. And yeah, just we want to get this over with. We really do. I'm my biggest concern right now is if coronavirus causes this to be rescheduled, if any of us come down with it before then, that's my biggest concern, because I want this done and over with. And Kevin does as well too. But we both feel the same way. We want this to be over with. We want him to be at home recovering and have this past us. But I know that when the tumor comes out, like, there could be more stuff that they find. These types of tumors are not generally cancerous, but there could always be cancer cells in there. We know that. The good thing about the 2 types of tumors that they think they are is that they're also not genetic. So Jack doesn't have to get any genetic testing. Kevin's family doesn't have to get any genetic testing, but we'll know more once we get it out. And I think that's the thing. I want to know more information about what exactly is going on. Hey, little buddy. But Kevin, I mean, he's doing well, honestly. He's doing well. He's ready to get this done and over with. But, you know, he knows the risks that are going in there, and he's like, I feel good knowing that, you know, I've done everything I want to by the time I'm, you know, 31 here. He's like, I've got a great family. I've got a great house. I've got everything that I've wanted to do by this time in my life. I've done it, and I wouldn't have done anything differently. And so I'm really happy that he's, you know, at peace. He's like, I just want to be around for more. So obviously, and he, you know, he's like, I feel good knowing that if there are any complications, that I've got you, you know, meaning me, and Jack, and got so much support. And even if things do go bad, you guys are going to be okay. You'll be able to take care of me if there's something that goes wrong. And so, like, we've been having a lot of those, you know, deep conversations, and it's not something that you want to have a conversation about. You don't want to have power of attorney conversations with your husband, if, you know, but stuff that we've done. And it's brought us closer together. And, like, for me, I'm not sweating the small stuff. Like, there's so much in life and going on right now that, like, people are getting up all in each other's business about, but what I need to focus on is my family and Kevin, and getting through this season of our lives here. And it's brought Kevin and I closer together, even though, you know, I considered us really close before. But you know, it's something that I want us to get through this, because this has been you know, going on since the beginning of 2019, really. But actually, the doctor said he's had this tumor for years. So they were kind of surprised that he doesn't have more damage, meaning like hearing loss or bulging out of his neck, the tumor bulging out of his neck. But so other than that, right now, I don't have more information. I'll keep you guys posted. Our next steps, he is going for a pre-op physical November 2nd, and then he has to have a brain angiogram done before the surgery as well too. We don't have that one scheduled yet. Corona has caused a lot of scheduling issues. But yeah, that brain angiogram, he's not worried about that one at all. They're gonna go up through a vein in his leg, send a catheter, I don't know, something all the way to his brain, and inject a dye, I guess, to see where all the arteries and the blood vessels are feeding this tumor on his brain. And so yeah, that's gonna happen beforehand. So I don't know. It's weird because right now, besides his voice and his shoulder being kind of messed up, and he's got a palate issue as well too, he feels pretty good, and it's like we're gonna go into the surgery and you're gonna come out feeling a lot worse. But you know, this is something that can't be left to grow. It's gonna cause issues down the line. So, yeah, we gotta get our daddy well. Get our daddy well. And the support that we have gotten from everyone that we've told has been overwhelming. Like, I can't even tell you how much it means to us. And this is also why Kevin is, you know, kind of at peace, I guess. I'm not very good with words. But he knows that no matter what happens, it's going to be okay. You know, there's no changing the fact that he has to have surgery. And if something does happen, you know, he's told me, and this was super hard to hear, he's like, if something happens to me, it does not change the fact that you're Jack's mom. Right? I'm still your mama. I still gotta show up for you. So we're just gonna keep positive. That's, Kevin said, that's really one thing that I've been helping him with is staying positive. And I might not sound super positive in this video here or whatever, but you have to be realistic that there's chances for some complications, but we're gonna stay positive, and I think the surgery is going to go well. I really do. But just my experience from seeing my mom's recovery, I think it's going to be a difficult recovery. But that was also 20 years ago. I was talking to her the other night on the phone. She's like, that was 20 years ago. I'm pretty sure that they're not going to be as invasive anymore. But, so this tumor is not inside his brain. It's on the outside. So he's going to have a big incision. TMI if you're a little squeamish. They're going to peel back his skin in his ear. They're going to cut into his skull, and that part of the skull is not going back. We're going to patch it up with something, I don't know, like drywall or something, I don't know. And then put it back. So they were talking about a couple different ways they were going to do the surgery. One of the options would be to go in through the ear canal. So they'd still have the big opening, but they'd go in through the ear canal. But where it's at, they're not going to do that. He would for sure lose his hearing in his left side if that was the case. But they're not going to go that route. Doesn't mean that they could accidentally, you know, have to sever the connection to his ear. He could lose his hearing from this, you know. And he's fine with that. You know, my mom's deaf in her left ear, and that was how I quickly found out left from right when I was a kid. Like, Mom can't hear me whispering in her left ear. I got to go around to the other side. So, you know, it's something that I'm not that I'm glad, but I'm happy that my family has been through this, because they can kind of, you know, my mom's talked to Kevin, and she was here when he came home from hearing about this, and Jack, what are you doing? You know, she's kind of helping him through this as well too, I think. You know, just reassuring him that it's gonna be okay, you know. So I appreciate that with my parents. And what are you doing? He's playing with his dad's computer right now. So yeah, I'm sorry this is so long. It's kind of it's nice to talk about it, because obviously you get more support, and the more people that know about this, the realer okay, the more real it is. But it's also, you know, there's a lot of people that have reached out to us about this, and they're like, you know, so-and-so, my husband or my cousin's been through this. And it's like, you don't realize how many people are affected by other health issues. And Kevin's all about, you know, sharing what's going on, not trying to hide it. And the reason that we haven't talked about it until now, kind of publicly, is we didn't have a surgery date until recently, and a plan for the angiogram. And this kid, I swear, he's so sweet. So yeah, Kevin's out right now. I was like, do you mind if I just post a video or something? He's like, yeah, go for it. I might do a video with him beforehand, just kind of seeing how things are going, but just I just wanted to let you guys all know, and take all the prayers and good juju and wishes that you guys have, because we're about to go through some stuff, and I'm ready. I'm prepared. His surgery is actually supposed to be October 21st, but his doctor was sick, and so earlier in like September, I don't know if it was the Rona or not, but they pushed all his stuff back. So his surgery now is November 9th. So I'm pretty much going to be off of work most of November, and Kevin's going to be off, November through the end of the year. So everyone has been so supportive, and thank you all for, your continued support. And I know that, he's starting to shut down the computer. If you're going through something, you don't have to, feel like you're alone. There's always somebody else going through something, and I encourage you guys to find somebody that you can trust and talk to and kind of work through things. Myself, I have a therapist that I see kind of irregularly, but I do see her, and she's aware of what's going on, and she's like, got a good positive attitude, one day at a time. Try to be rational about this, but I can tell you, there's days where I just have really high anxiety, and there's days where I get emotional, and it's not like sad, but it's kind of being afraid of everything that I could lose. We were out at a restaurant once, and Jack was just kind of ready to be done with it, and Kevin just picks him up and kind of holds him, and I'm like, I just started crying. I'm like, I'm afraid to lose this, After Jack's first birthday party, Kevin cooked a really nice meal, and we had his family over and stuff like that, and he's like, I'm really happy that we had that, and if I can't cook like this anymore, or can't entertain like this anymore, I'm happy with what we did. And I just burst out crying, and it's just, sometimes it's, he's got a coffee cup now. Sometimes it's just, you have to realize how fortunate that you are, and not take anything for granted. And that's how I'm trying to live my life. It's how I tried to live my life beforehand, but even more so now. Just taking mental snapshots and trying to remember everything the way it is right now, and not being so in my head, but focused on what's real and what's in front of me, and doing the most that I can with my family right now. So that's been brought out a little bit from this diagnosis, and I'm trying to help Kevin work through that as well too. It's a little bit harder for him to get out of his head and focus here, but just yesterday we had a emotional conversation about this kind of stuff, and it's bettering ourselves, honestly. So okay, I have lots more to say. I have stuff, but thank you guys for all your support, and we're gonna be good, aren't we? So, all right, talk to you guys later. Say bye-bye. All right, see ya.